Okay, we should be good to go, President.
All right, awesome. Welcome, everybody. And let's see, just a review of some previous action items, media payment and publication. Finalize the publication and process payment for Modern Ghana, targeting modern Ghana. And then the fallback, I believe, is Peace FM, and the budget around 2,700
Yeah,
cedis.
so Salam, can you give us an update on that? Were you able to uh, get that done, or are we still working on that?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So um, on Friday we settled on Modern Ghana. I have tried to reach them, but I think because it's weekend, they are not responding. The line is going through, but they are not responding.
Uh-huh.
So I'll call them first thing tomorrow morning. Make payment to them, and the story is already ready. So
Okay.
I'm sure they will publish it by close of day tomorrow.
Great. Great,
Yeah.
great. Thanks for that update on that, Salam.
Perfect. And the Wikipedia page creation, drafting the page, utilizing the new media story as a citation, and that's pending, dependent on the publication of the media story. So that's what Benny's got. So that's
Yeah, and
good.
I just had a question on that. Benny, do you have the article for Wikipedia written, or will you wait for the final reference before writing it? I'm just curious because I'd like Elaina and others, not just Elaina, but others to review it before you publish it. I don't know how difficult it is to change a Wikipedia page once it's been posted, but I'd like to make sure that we review it so it's a good representation of everything. Is that something that you've already written, or is that something you plan to write once the last reference is made?
So I've not written it yet,
Okay.
just gathering how each section would be
Okay.
and how we would make it reference to the news article. So when it's finally released,
Mhm.
I would send a draft over to the marketing channel so that everyone can have a look before we finally publish it. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then just so I know, is it that if there's, I'm not saying there's going to be, but the equivalent of a typo or we want to add a sentence, is that relatively easy to do to the Wikipedia page once it's published, or is that like uh 3-month process?
Um. Yeah. So every changes that is made to the Wikipedia page, it has to go through moderation,
Mm-hmm.
which sometimes can take some time, depending on how the Wikipedia moderators are available.
Okay.
Yeah, but then changes can happen at any time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great,
So
great.
even if we submit the draft, it's the same process. The moderators will have to go through it to verify from some of the sources we have cited to be
Hmm.
sure everything is in line with what we are saying before it can be accepted.
Great, great. And then
Yes.
you plan on doing you're still planning on being able to get that out at the by the end of the year? Is that approximately when you're thinking?
Yes, that's what we're looking at.
Okay, great. Thank you, Benny.
Perfect.
Yes. Sure.
And the Smiley data entry for the invoices, entering the sales invoices for the in-kind donation. How is that going, Salam?
Yeah. So with the sales invoices, I'm just left with project 75, the last event we did, and I'm working on that now.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
Great, great.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's good. And were you able to that was my question, and I kind of made it generic and I apologize, but I wanted you to go through all the past projects and make sure that everything was there, because as the audits come through, this is going to be even more important. But it sounds to me like 75, which is the most recent project, is the only one that you really have to do. Is that correct? Or do you have to still go through and make sure everything else is correct as well?
Yes, the I did some corrections to the boreholes.
Okay.
Yes. that we
Great,
did, they also came with some in-kind donations. You
great,
know,
great.
we had the community made some little contributions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, and it's really important. It's really important to note those because that shows our public support for our effort, and that's important not only to future donors, but that's also important when we look at grant writing and audit. So thank you for that, and just let us know when that is complete, and then I'll begin to work on the export for the map on the website.
That was our next
Okay.
thing.
Oh, that was the next thing?
Next thing was a update website map. Once data is clean, invoices are entered, and yeah.
Yeah, so is what I'm waiting on is what I'm doing is I'm waiting on Salam to finish the sales invoices, and I'm waiting for Benny to finish with the categorizing of the projects based on location. Now that I identified what the bug was in the report, Benny, so the problem was, just so everybody knows, is we have this concept of a group of locations, and individuals were assigning projects to groups. And then those groups weren't coming out in the report because they are the parent, there wasn't a parent of them. And so in the report itself, we weren't getting the categorization on the website. When you do the drop down and you say, show me everything in Ghana, there were projects that were not being properly represented. So Benny was going through the project, setting the location, because there's a one for one. The ER Smiley references the project location, and in the map it's referred to as a category. So those are one for one. So Benny was going through and setting all of the proper locations, and I also put some code in to no longer allow the visibility of those groups, but only the children, so that won't happen in the future. And I wanted to get a status on Benny on how he feels about that data and where we are on that.
Okay, so I've been able to enter all the data
Mm-hmm.
starting from pre-project one to the last one.
Great.
And what I did, just to clarify if that is right, all projects we did in Ghana that are in villages,
Mm-hmm.
I used the N Village Ghana.
Great.
All
Great.
projects that happened inside Tamale, I used Tamale Ghana.
Yeah.
Yeah, for projects, okay,
No, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. For projects in the US, I noticed that most of them already had the specific locations attached.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Great. That's beautiful. And the reason that this is so important, I want to express this to everyone right now, is that so now that we've got this medical data entered, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but now that we have the medical data entered, we have something called a positivity rate. So for the number of tests that we provided, how many came back positive? And in talking with our friends, Tim and Jody, over the weekend, and a couple of days, 3 days that we stayed with them, I thought in talking with them is that we really can extrapolate that positivity rate based on the population of a region or an area. So, for example, if we found out how many people were in Tamale specifically, and then we took the positivity rate and multiplied it by the population, we can get an assumption of how many people have that specific disease, whether it's hepatitis B or C, whether it's typhoid, whether it's malaria, or whether it's HIV. And so this will also be very powerful information for our future grants and people who want to fund the treatment of these, because they can now see the impact. So that was the reason that I created that new category, because we wanted to separate essentially the city of Tamale from the villages in the north. So thank you for doing that. And I think that's what you ended up doing. I think it's going to work great, Benny. Do you agree?
Yeah, sure. Think that goes better than the general naming that we had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great, great. So we may need to be. I think that'll, we can look at the event where we identified 20 cases of HIV in that one project, we can say that that positivity rate, and then do some extrapolation in that area and figure out, okay, if we've got, just to use round numbers, 10,000 people there or 100,000 people there, we can say, look, there's a good chance that X number of people are positive with HIV in this area, and then target them again, maybe with additional condoms or education in the next medical clinic in the region, to try and alleviate some of that. So great work on that, Benny, and I'll look forward to seeing those sales invoices and from you, Salam. If both of you could let me know in Discord when that work is complete, then I'll start looking at updating the map so we can get a better picture of things.
Awesome.
Thanks for that. Good work, guys.
And then development cost centers and budgets in ERP Next.
Yeah.
Grant tracking.
Yeah. So I did some chatting with AI and use the best way, excuse me, to leverage grant tracking within Smiley, our ERP Next system, is to use the budgets that we already create. Benny and the president can correct me if I'm wrong, but there is supposed to be a budget with each project, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the same budgeting. That's the same budgeting piece that we'll use for our grants when we budget things, and then we'll use cost codes on purchase invoices to do the classifications of where those dollars went to the specific grants. And that, so I was asking if there was a specific, thank you, if there was a specific grant management type package within ERP Next that we should be using. And the end result was no, that we should be using projects, cost centers, budgets for tracking of grants for compliance. And so that seemed good. And so I'm looking at that, and we'll need to come up with some naming conventions once we get our senior grant writer on board for those cost centers so that we can easily track which grants those dollars were tied to. So that's where that is. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions on that? If they do, just interrupt or raise your hand or say. But it's pretty straightforward, I think, to be able to do the grants, which I'm grateful for.
Awesome. And kind of one other piece on financial, Salam, I just want to say that I did receive the office budget. I did look over it briefly, but we'll go ahead and discuss that in Friday's meeting if that's okay. Or if you have questions right now, please go ahead.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay, perfect.
Great.
So you didn't have any questions?
I didn't have a chance to look at it, honestly, Salam.
Oh, okay.
But we'll definitely discuss it in the Friday team meeting, Ghana team meeting.
All right.
Sure. But sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
I didn't. Yes, I remember we had agreed to have a meeting, or if you like, a get together for medical volunteers towards end of the year. I didn't include that in the budget, though. I don't know if I should.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Say it
Include
one
that.
more time. This is for the medical volunteers. You want to have a celebration?
Yes, we
And
wanted to have a meeting with them and let them know our next year plan.
okay.
Next year, we've planned to do an event in January and a bigger one in April when you are in Ghana. And and a number of them had come from different organizations for our medical event last month. So the idea was that myself and Ben thought that it would be good to reconvey them and get those who would really show up, because some of them have filled the volunteer form to be volunteering with us, so that when we have this meeting with them, we can get to know those that will be available for us and also see where they will place us in an event that maybe we are having an event the same day, let's say the Hereafter Foundation or Onco Foundation, where the people are already volunteering, also have an event where they would want to be at, so that we can get to establish our core medical volunteers. Because we wouldn't want to have a situation where you are having a medical event, counting on maybe 10 number of volunteers, and at the end of the day, only 5 or 6 shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we thought that we should have this meeting, and I think we all resolved in the discussion that we should meet towards end of the year.
Yeah,
So
so I
I was
think
just
yeah, I think an end of the year celebration. I mean, the president can confirm this or deny this or, as she wants to, but I think that that's. Do you have a dollar amount, Salam, in mind?
maybe anything below uh 500, 500 and below,
Okay.
not anything beyond 500. Because I was just thinking that for this get together, I would just buy some goods and some drinks,
Hmm.
and maybe, yeah, not something big.
Okay. Yeah.
Is
So.
that for
Oh,
the end of the year this year or for 26?
This year, just
This
before 2026, because 2026 um, January we want to do a health event.
hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I mean the budget is tight this year because we've already exceeded our spending, but I think that if you want to put on that agenda or on that budget 400, that would probably that would probably be acceptable if the president approves.
Yeah, I think that's fine. It's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Does that sound like that's something you can do, Salam?
Yes, I think 400 will work. Ben,
Yeah, I'm sure
so
that
that
would.
I want
Yeah,
to
we
hear
can
from you,
bring
so
them.
that it doesn't look like I've accepted something on all of us. I'll be happy.
Yeah, that would work. I think we can use that to bring them back and
Yeah,
have the sit down. Yeah.
yeah, and I think it should be a nice end of the year celebration. Will it be at the office then?
Yes, that's
Yes.
what we discussed.
Okay, great. So yeah, you can just title it as the end of the year celebration, which I think is good for everyone to celebrate our wins and as you said, kind of tell them what we have planned for 2026. So that'll be good. I hope both of you also enjoy the celebrations.
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You've done an amazing job this year. So we have a lot to celebrate. Thank you for all your hard work.
Absolutely. Very good. Uh, Yay.
Yay, I like it, man.
Nice, nice. All right. Next topic for, as you saw in Discord, that Solid Food did reject the offer that we had offered him. We went back and forth a couple days and tried to come to an agreement, and it just wasn't able to happen. He wasn't, I don't want to say, how do I say this? The twice a week meetings were a challenge for him, as well as being able to respond to Discord and other messages within a 24-hour period.
Mhm.
And so, and some other things, in the contract he wasn't sure about, and we let him know, everybody's contract is the same. We all have that pretty much the same base of a contract. It's just adjusted to different positions. And so he politely declined, and that's okay. We will continue looking for another individual, and like I said, if anybody out there knows of somebody, a friend of a friend, definitely send them our way, and then we can kind of chat with them, talk to them, and get to know them, and them get to know us and our philosophy for the organization. I think that's kind of how we'll continue forward. Anything
Yeah,
else?
I don't have anything to add. I think it's well
Okay.
said.
And we did discuss that when we do hire the senior grant writing individual, that they will definitely be involved in the recruitment and hiring and training, obviously, of the grant coordinator or assistant that will go below, not below them, that will report to them.
Mhm.
So that's another thing that we decided for
Sorry,
them.
they won't report to the senior grant writer. They'll report to me as their primary mentor.
Right.
But both the grant writer and myself will mentor in the coordinator position.
Sure, but the coordinator will work very closely with the
Absolutely.
grant writer.
Yeah, so it's critical that that's there
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah.
So, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so based on this, how does the pipeline of potential senior grant writers look, Salam and Benny? Do you guys have individuals in mind that you'd like to recommend, or is this something that we should make a social media post about and start plowing through applications for?
Okay. So for now, I haven't spoken to anyone.
Okay.
I have someone in mind, but I'm weighing the person's schedule as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I was thinking that whilst at it,
Phoebe.
is it possible that we could use let's say the services of some sort of a freelancer whilst we take time to actually get someone with a track record when it comes to grant writing, because this morning I spoke to a lady who works with she works with an NGO in Tamale,
Mm-hmm.
uh, who said that their country they have a grant writer who was working with, I think, one of the projects that were funded by USAID, and when USAID left and the project wasn't doing well, their
Mm-hmm.
organization brought the guy to work with them, and he has for the year 2025 he was able to win them about 2 grants.
Okay.
They are into village savings and loans and women empowerment and all of that. So I
Okay.
was asking her if it is possible to get that man to assist us, and so she's supposed to talk to the man and get back and try to link us up
Mm-hmm.
so that I can have conversations with him. But she also suggested that before they actually hired the man, what they used to do was they at their organizational level they had all what they equally have. They also have their external auditors. I was just taking her through what we are looking for. Instead, they also have their external audit firms. They had their books intact, and they at the organization level will identify a grant that they think matches their mission and get someone they know have experience in grant writing to work closely with a staff of them to write for the grant. So
Mm-hmm.
some sort of like a freelancer type of thing, and then they pay the person a fee. And then she also brought up that most of the guys in Ghana here, when you ask them to write grant for you, they want to go for the performance commission,
Mm-hmm.
because usually um, the because NGOs here hardly get funding,
Mm-hmm.
and these guys are really skilled at it. So the NGOs don't want to commit to be paying them regularly and not having them perform. So usually they engage the people and they propose to them that, oh, you write for the grant for us. When we don't win, you get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
When we win, you get X percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's how the non-profit sector have used these guys that is giving them that mindset that okay, they also want to go for commission basis. And I was also just querying. I actually went on ChatGPT and I was querying it about the best way to engage a grant writer.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that actually having the person full time on your organization gives the person organizational knowledge. It makes the person incorporate your mission into their work, and the person is more committed and more reliable than engaging the person on commission basis. Sometimes a person might go ahead to write certain grants that really doesn't tie to your mission, but because the person is looking to win a grant and get a commission, the person will just write for the grant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I took from there and from the lady was that at the moment, whilst we are looking to get an experienced hand, we can begin to look for, because for all of us who have been in Give Basic Needs till this moment, know very well the organization's present situation. We know the future, we know the vision, we know where we are headed.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really take much just combing the internet to see so usually what I do, I just go on Google and I post a question: what grant opportunities are available for an international organization whose main aim is preventive health in Ghana?
Mm-hmm.
And then I get a number of them. Then you go through to really see and know which one truly align with your mission.
Yeah.
Then we can engage a writer and then say, okay, we have this grant um, we want to apply for. How much are you going to charge us? And then we apply for the grant. Assessors apply for the grant. We have all the necessary documents you will need. We'll make them available to you, and then we can start that. So I think that's one way we can make sure we kickstart 2026 if we still want to go by that goal that 2026 will kickstart January by looking for grants and applying for grants. Another way is to just hold on the whole process till we find somebody that is best fit and begin to apply for the grant,
Yeah.
which I think we should take time to really make sure that we are recruiting somebody that will be willing to actually travel the journey with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really good insight, Salam, and I'm glad that you did the research as well regarding the performance-based compensation and the fact that, in my opinion, it really isn't the best way to proceed if you're looking for someone who's more than transactional. Meaning, when I use these terms with you guys in the weekly meeting, I'm going to use them here. Is that what we can do? What performance-based compensation tends to be more of a transactional type business engagement with a contractor where I provide you this, you provide me that. That's really not what we're looking for in the senior grant writer. In the senior grant writer position, we really want the individual, we want to invest in the individual, not just at the transactional level. This is an investment in a long-term position that they can then grow with the organization and be a true advisor of the organization, just as Benny is, just as Elaina is, just as Salam, Luke, Daniel, Presidu, myself. We are all investing in this organization, and that's a different model than a compensation based performance payment system. And so in talking with Daniel and talking with Luke and the Presidu, et cetera, we felt that it was more of an investment that we needed to make in a long-term person. And that's it's unfortunate that Salifu didn't work out, because I think he shared a lot of the traits that we were looking for. While he didn't have all of the experience in the nonprofit sector, he did possess a strong belief in the mission and the vision of the organization, and was well communicated and willing to learn. And so I think that's the kind of person that we should hold out for, and the person that we should invest our time in identifying, rather than just getting grants to get grants. We're in a position, fortunately, that we can continue to execute projects without grants. We are just going to grow the organization exponentially when we do get grants. And so I think for right now, it would be my preference, and we should go around the room, is to wait for that individual who is right, um, who is right for the position, and actively work on hiring that individual, rather than just going after grants at this time. But I'll turn it over to the president to ask others in the group or provide her feedback next.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. I definitely, that the compensation, or was it success-based
Six,
compensation,
yeah.
is just something that we can't do. And we had looked into that and obvious reasons and stuff when I had told Salafu. So that, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
You think that it's better to wait and push the objective. The real objective was to do it in 2026 when we all got hopeful that we had a senior grant individual in line. We all said, okay, let's move it up to January, because that's just the kind of organization that we are. But the reality is if it doesn't happen until later in the year, I think it's just fine personally. It's not going to hold up our giving. It just means we're going to strategically wait for that individual. Elaina, would you give some information or thoughts on that as to how we might proceed based on what Salam said and what we've shared?
I agree. I think waiting to find the right individual and then invest in them from there is a good idea. And if it's not going to impact our giving too much, then I don't see the harm in just waiting to find the right person.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. Uh, Luke, do you have any thoughts?
No, I think just wait. Patience.
Patience. I like it.
Thanks,
Daniel,
Doctor.
Daniel, do you have any thoughts on it? Do you have any thoughts on whether we should wait
No,
or
I agree. We should wait, and we'll find the right person when time.
when the time comes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And how about you, Benny? Are you okay with that decision?
Yeah, I am. I think for this is how things have turned out, and if we should rush to get someone, it might not yield the results we want. So we can wait to get the right person who
Yeah.
aligns and accepts what we actually want. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is what it will. This is I've seen this happen, and I'm sure you all have too. Is that when we try to not get the right person, but continue down the road, that takes away from finding the right person. So we all have a certain amount of energy and capacity. So it's better that instead of trying to go down the grant creation role right away, we can take that energy that we would have done with that and really put it back into finding the right person. And so I that's good feedback as well, Benny. Salam, do you have any final thoughts on our direction?
I think I agree that we hold on and look for the right person. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think it will take a lot to execute grants. And if we don't have someone with solid guidance, we may just do a lot of busy work. So I think that's a good approach. And Salam, if you turn up individuals, or I guess the question to go around the room now would be, are we at the point where we're ready to advertise for this position and start looking at individuals? Or Salam and Benny or anyone else in the group, do you have resources that you want to present or individuals that you want to present first?
I think, if I can speak first,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that, since we aren't in a hurry to hire a grant writer and we're going to take it, slow and stuff, I think, we shouldn't advertise right now. We should just wait and see if, somebody comes up, or if Ben or Salam have somebody in mind. I think that's kind of my opinion.
Better to not do the social media type post.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's hear from Ben or Ben. Yeah, let's hear from Benny on that.
Yeah. So I agree with Presido. I think we can, for now, be on the low to look around. If we get someone, maybe along the line, if we feel there is the need
Mm-hmm.
to make an advertisement on social media, we do. Yes, but with what has just happened, I would think we hold on and look around for some time. Yeah.
Okay, great. And I want to just add one point before I continue on, is that we're not with it by taking the investment in the person model, we're not looking for someone who has everything. We're looking for someone who's willing to become everything about grants. Does that make sense? So if they don't have skills in a specific area, it's okay if we feel that they can grow into that position. we're willing, just like with Benny, just like with Salam, just like with me, everybody's willing to take time to learn. And so if we take that approach, is that this is a person that could grow into that position. That's really the kind of person we're looking for, because unfortunately, looking for someone that checks all the boxes will probably not isn't likely to happen. Salam, how do you feel on the social media versus the I think I can find some more people to come to this type of position without it? How do you feel on that decision?
Yeah, I think both will work depending on how soon
Mhm.
and if we have, because social media gives us open access to a lot of people.
Mhm.
So if we are dealing with timelines, we can do that. However, um, we also can recommend someone. Like I said before, I've worked. I haven't spoken to the guy, and I don't know if he has done grants for non-profits, but I did work with him for a grant for an agri project with Exim Bank
Mhm.
early this year, and it went through. So
Okay.
I would want to ask him. His name is Emmanuel. I would
Emmanuel.
want to ask him if he has related experiences and if this is a role he's willing to undertake.
Great.
But
Great.
apart from him, then it will be waiting for the ladies' connection so that I talk to their grant writer who is based here in Tamale and see. So those are the two I have in mind. Those are the two prospects I have in mind at the moment.
Okay. Well, Salam, I'm not going to set your priorities because that's the president's, but I would recommend that this becomes your highest priority because we've decided to hold off on the bank account until we get this individual in line, or we have or we travel there in April. And so I think that finding a grant writer would probably go up as the bank account goes down, as well as the auditing, because we should wait for the senior person to say, this is I know from a financial standpoint and what we're capable of, I know which type of audit. We'll prepare the numbers and they will simply check them. We don't need them to prepare all of the numbers, et cetera. So with that, we should wait though to make sure that we're working with someone that this grant writer can be successful with, just like we were waiting on the grant coordinator position so that it's a good fit for the senior grant writer or analyst. And so I think that this would move that up in your search, whether it's through professional contacts or maybe through university or other contacts, but I would think that this would move finding potential candidates up on your priority list. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Do you agree with that, Salam?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so keep your eyes out, work on those networks and see what you can turn up, and then we'll proceed in a timely manner. I think that's the conclusion. And we'll use social media if and when we're ready to. Maybe, if we don't have someone on board by, say, February, uh, then maybe we'll start with the social media posts, and then I'm expecting a flood of applicants, in which case we'll take a significant amount of effort to then go through those and rank those, deciding who we want to proceed with. So I think that Salam, with if you can focus on you know those networks of yours and even new networks that you might not have uncovered yet, whether those are maybe at university or some other NGOs or wherever, that'll be helpful and we'll proceed in that manner. You agree?
Hmm. Great.
Okay, great.
Perfect. So kind of on the mentorship, we're still looking at having Salam's sister Zuera. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Zuera, and then Simone, Ben's sister, or Ben's brother, sorry, have Simone kind of mentor both Salam and Ben to get an idea of the workings, and the same with Zuera. Zuera's training is as a nurse, but we're going to kind of bring her more involved into the organization and have her use her knowledge that way as well. So that's kind of another onboarding mentees that we're going to have.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see what's the possibility of getting Zuera and Simone into Discord, or are they already?
Um, no, I think Simon is not on Discord,
Okay.
but it's easy to set up when we are ready. When we give them the go ahead, I'm sure they can easily set that up and join us.
Okay. Awesome. Salam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then
Yeah,
we'll
so
wait.
I think is the sooner they get into Discord, and if they could just read our dialogues, maybe follow our meetings, whatever it is, to just get more familiar with our mission and our vision, and be able to ask questions. If they have them in Discord, they're more than welcome to fully engage, and that helps us who are not in Ghana and who may not know these individuals, get to know them and how they think, etc. So the sooner that we can get them in Discord, I think the better.
Okay.
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 I think we're just waiting to hear from you so that we can give them or let them proceed with that. So let them do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're more than welcome, and I think that again, if they want to take just a strictly passive role, or if they have questions, it's an open forum for anything. So we look forward to them joining and yeah, participating a bit more so that we can get a feel for how that's going to go down. So yeah, that's great.
And it's kind of a good time of year, kind of winding up 25, and then we're going to get started with 26. So I
Yeah.
think it's a good time because we won't have a lot of activity in Discord because actually next Sunday, the 21st, that'll be our last meeting for the year. But still, they can look back at other, through the groups and things like that, and just kind of educate themselves at time, whenever they have a moment.
Right. Right. Yeah. No assigned task. It's really just an educational piece that they can prepare for. And then, like the president said, be ready to participate even at maybe a little higher level in early 2026 as we do execute projects, etc. Salam, are you picking? Are you thinking that Zawara,
Zuera.
Zuera, is going to is because of her medical background be leading the medical type events? Are you kind of thinking that her medical skills will fit into our medical projects better? Is that what you're thinking, or what are you thinking on that? Or does she have a desire to use those medical skills, or is she trying to get away from the medical field and do something completely different?
Yes. She have the desire to use those medical skills. Her training is as a general nurse,
Uh-huh.
so I believe that she would play an important role and fits well in medical events, making sure the right things are done.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. That's great. We look forward to engaging with both of them. Yeah, thank you.
I look forward to meeting her in April too.
Yeah,
Another
in
nurse.
April, another nurse.
It looks like we lost Elaina, I'm guessing, because they're driving that she lost connectivity. So that's, I'll just wait for her to rejoin if she can.
Yeah.
The audit and the banking. I think we kind of discussed already prioritizing the audit over the banking account or
Yeah,
opening the account.
audit. Yeah, those are essentially waiting on the senior grant writer who will then guide us as to if we want to stay with the current auditing firm and how to do that, and then also helping us with the that's going to probably allow us to execute. It sounds to me like it's going to be April when we open the bank account and we're actually present. So that makes things a little easier, as Salam had pointed out as well. So I think everything is falling into place as it should.
Wonderful. Talking about the grant target sizing, I don't think we need to.
No, nothing there.
There. All right, on to the next, medical and donor strategy. As the CFO CTO mentioned earlier, we were visiting with some friends, and their background is they are both retired pharmacists. But as we were chatting, and we've known that for a while and stuff, and then as chatting with them and discussing the foundation, it was like a lot of their knowledge, we were just like, oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. They knew all the different drugs to treat malaria and typhoid and what you should do, and then Cipro. And so we brought them into WhatsApp, and we put them in a group with Salam and us to kind of answer and look at those types of medication questions, because they are looking at possibly making a donation to us, whether it be financially or supplies like medications and things like that. So we will continue that discussion with them. But we're excited to have that new avenue of the pharmacy, the medical background, the drugs and stuff, because they clearly know more than I do, definitely. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. So and I think that Salam was able to provide them with some numbers, because is what I told them, and I think is what as we focus maybe more towards treatment of individuals, we should look for medications that treat the largest number of problems. And so, like Cipro, for example, if we were to purchase that, we could purchase them in quantity and then um, allow the prescription to be filled, if you will, or this to be done on site as to what the person has. And then if Cipro can't treat it, then we would send them to the current hospital or whatever to get the treatment, excuse me, to get the treatment that they need. And so I think the way that we should look at treatment going forward is to pick an avenue or a medication and start with one and see how it goes, so that we don't have issues with product expiration, uh, product theft, all of these kinds of things. We can kind of uh, uh, get Zwara and some others engaged on the ground as to take on one treatment at a time, but focus on one treatment that can treat a whole variety, or one medication that can treat a variety of illnesses. So typhoid, for example, I think it was bladder infection. These kinds of things can all be treated with the same medication of Cipro. So
UTIs.
yeah, UTI. So that could be something that we could begin to look at as far as treatment goes, with the reduction of those treatment options for these individuals because of USAID pullout. Do you have any thoughts on that, Salam?
I think that is good, and Cipro, Cipro, like you said, is also very good. Um, and I think that's even the more reason to have Zuira on board, because she has also been recommending some uh, medications for us for infections,
Mm-hmm.
and she sells some medication, medicines for this type of infections. So I think it's a good idea, and it's also great that we are having people who are interested in helping us provide treatment for the people we screen. That will make our case more stronger, and looking out for medicines that can treat multiple diseases.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said yesterday, I contacted another company called GR Pharma, uh,
Mm-hmm.
GR Pharmaceuticals. They
Mm-hmm.
are from India, and I think their ratings is very good. Maybe I will share their name, and then you can as well cross check them.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to I told you that I wanted to talk to the man who donated malaria treatment to us some time ago, and when I asked him, he actually recommended that their drugs, this particular company, their drugs are very effective.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think it's a very good idea.
Yeah, that's great. And I think the key is that we don't try to treat everything, but we focus on a handful of things that we can treat with one medicine, and then we add medicines as needed. We're never going to be able to treat everyone, but if we can get some of these big ones down, then this gives individuals um, the ability to donate on the treatment side, not just the testing side. And so I think that this is important, and I think that uh, if you, Salam, want to add anyone to that medical group that Tim and Jody are in, please feel free to do so. If you don't have admin on it, I can make you an admin on that group.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
I
if
think I will talk to Zuida and I'll add her to that group.
yeah, please, please.
And they're very fond of Africa. They've been to Africa several times. They're actually going again in May, and so we were trying to coordinate, them coming in April as well, but we just couldn't make it happen. They're doing a cruise and kind of going along the coast versus, and they're not stopping in Ghana, unfortunately. But yeah, so they have a love of Africa, like I said, been several times, and yeah, it was a good engaging conversation with them. Good hopes.
Mhm.
They're excited equally as well. We set them up on their phones with WhatsApp and the YouTube so they can watch some movies, watch our meetings and stuff
Yeah,
too. So so that's awesome.
yeah, very good, very good. Okay, great. What do you got?
See, next action items. All right, Kevin, you will reevaluate the specific audit engagement model, option A versus option B,
Yeah, and yeah,
pending the hiring of the senior grant writer.
right.
Salam will look at the timeline and milestones for Zuera and Simone to transition to grant support roles. That'll be obviously a little bit later on throughout the year.
Mhm.
And Salam also to confirm specific date and time for Zuera and Simone to join the Discord server, which I think we've already said to go
Yeah,
ahead
all
and do
good.
that.
Yeah.
Benny will look at specific training sessions or check-ins when we get the mentorship program going, when Simone and Zuera are on full time for full board, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Kevin and I will determine if further documentation is required for the April trip preparation regarding the bank account delay. I think we have that list of documents that we need to gather from Salam, and so that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And leadership, define immediate next steps for recruiting a replacement senior grant writer. We have discussed that in the meeting here, so that's a continuing action item, I guess, that we'll work on next week's meeting, and then obviously in January 26th as well.
So Salam, how would you like to, like when we brought Sally Food to the organization for evaluation, we brought them to this meeting and then just kind of talked about what it was we were going to do. Do you think that that works good, or would you rather just have them fill out an application and then myself, the Presidio, you, and Benny join them on a Friday call first, or how would you like to do? How will you bring potential senior level grant writers to the organization going forward?
So I think I will just let them fill an application,
Okay.
and then maybe the Presido can respond to them and set up maybe a meeting to interview them.
Okay.
It can be any day aside Friday,
Mhm.
and if it is also a Friday, we can all be in the meeting to interact
Mhm.
with them, ask all the relevant questions, and then move on to engage them.
Okay, great. Yeah, so then
Yes.
I think the job description is out there and you have that. And at the bottom, it has the Presidio's email where they can email their CV and example grant writing samples or whatever else they might need. But I think you have everything you need from us to do that. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, great.
Perfect. One thing that kind of missed the agenda was the April 26th trip as far as Luke and Hailey. How are things going with you guys deciding things and paperwork and Ghana visa? Luke, you want to give us an update?
They're going. Not really much is new since we last talked.
Okay. Did I give you the Ghana visa link?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's probably the first thing to work on because it says the website says to get your visa before you buy your ticket. But knock on wood, we haven't had problems with that. And you'll have obviously travel insurance too. That if you happen to buy your ticket before your visa's back, that'll be okay.
Yeah, I would recommend waiting for the visa for sure before you buy the ticket. But also, we currently have the president who's going to interview one more individual, a couple, who is interested in traveling with us on the 6th. I'm sorry, in April. Let's leave it at that. In April. And so we are still recruiting for that and trying to get people to travel for that event. So Salam will obviously, the deadline is December 15th, at which time we will know exactly how many people we're going to have in April for
Which
you.
is tomorrow.
I'm sorry, it's December 15th or January 15th?
January.
January 15th. I apologize.
No worries.
Yeah, January 15th is the deadline for everyone who is going to go to pay their deposit, and then we'll have a count for you so that you can plan the April trip. And the Presidio and I currently plan on staying at least a week beyond uh, that travel to shore up any business that we need to, or interview grant writers, or anyone else that we might need to make contact with.
Yes, and this other couple, we met the individual when we last took a trip to Ghana, and he had volunteered with us at the Nakavongo Conservation Camp. And so he reached out because we reached out to that group of individuals we volunteered with then, and he has showed some interest. He was kind of active a little bit in the beginning when we made the groups. His background is a therapist or a counselor, and so, and I've let him know like his scope of practice when we travel there, what he will be able to do and not do. So that conversation will continue once I chat with him and kind of go over the itinerary and the budget and see if how serious they are traveling with us. So that will be continued.
Yeah, Salam, do you have something, or does that all sound good to you?
Yes, that all sound good.
Great.
It all sound good. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. You have anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Sir VP? Nope. Salam, how about you?
Nope.
Hey, Benny
No.
and Luke.
Nope.
All right. Like I mentioned, next Sunday will be our last meeting for the year, making this Friday, the last meeting for our Ghana team, which will be the 19th, right? Yeah, 19th.
Mhm.
And thanks again for your time, for coming to the meeting. We appreciate everyone's effort and passion behind our organization and foundation. We appreciate you all, and have a great week, and we will see you next week.
All right, sure.
All
Have a
right,
great day
bye-bye.
too.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.